let's hear about your path to Epic Games. Let's talk a little bit about you, and then we're going to dig into how Epic Games is weaponizing the creators.
Yeah, look, I'm incredibly fortunate that I work with Epic Games. I've spent the last 20 years in video games, whether it be with EA, building and publishing mobile games or online games. I still consider it games. I then had 4 years at Nike building or gamifying activity, taking a lot of the things that we do in gaming to build engagement and actually trying to use that to help people run faster, further, and safer, and be more active as well, which perfectly coincided with the pandemic. But ultimately, I missed this industry. I missed gaming. And Epic made an offer that I couldn't refuse to join them to lead international publishing for them for our first-party titles. So I spend the bulk of my time thinking about, and a decent amount of my time playing Fortnite as well, but also the rest of the products in the ecosystem. Rocket League, Fall Guys are our other kind of big properties there. But I love gaming, and I've had in my whole career a really close relationship within the creator, the influencer community, and that's where we're kind of really been able to unlock a flywheel there for us, and it's such a critical piece of the Epic ecosystem.
Fantastic, love it. And you talked about engagement. Let's talk a little bit about engagement writ large. So as I understand it, let's call music 50, 60 billion. Top level. Let's call movies and TV 100 billion. 190 billion is gaming. 190 billion dollars a year is gaming. It's, I'm 57 this year. Most of my peers are older would be like, oh, entertainment is music and movies and TV. Gaming even dwarfs that, and I think it will soon be, I'm in the Web3 space, so the tokenized version, I think it's gonna be $500 billion. It's gonna be $500 billion with the tokenization of gaming. The world economy is 110 trillion, so it'll be like 4% of the global economy. It's actually an absolute juggernaut. And engagement, Fortnite was really a seminal game with the battle royale and how it changed the landscape. And let's talk about that. Like, the engagement has been 7 years now. It's still incredibly well regarded and amazing stats there. How are you innovating and evolving with this creator economy? How have you incorporated these rabid fans into your game to help them to actually create and drive engagement?
Yeah, since Fortnite launched, the creator community have been a pivotal part of it, and so right at the beginning, streaming the game, and we were one of many battle royale games, and we continue to be one of many battle royale games in that genre. And so streaming was obviously a path where people were able to build their career and build incredible audiences. We've always had a competitive element. We haven't had probably as strong a competitive element as some of the other games in the same genre or in slightly adjacent genres. But competitive has always been there, and those competitive players and the ability for them to be part of the journey as well has been critical. But we really felt strongly that we wanted to reward and fund the creator community as well. So we started a few years back with Support a Creator, where creators who were camera facing, who were able to take a share in the revenues that we were generating. And that was the first iteration of that pathway. Through, if I spend, and I have certain creators that I still support because I watch their streams and I love the content that they create.
So let me stop there. So
sure.
When you say you support and you spend, like, how do you like practically support them?
So they have a creator ID, and so mine is Nick A30 that I support, the Canadian creator. I just like his content, and every time I spend money, which is a lot, he gets a little bit of that.
And what kind of cut does he get?
That one, we're evolving that. So that one, it's a small percentage of all sales on that one. So we've been able to make many people a significant amount of money over the years. So the supporter creator economy was our first really our first foray into that space. The next one, the next evolution was around, we knew how important these individuals were to the success of the game and the engagement, and they were helping us grow. And so we wanted to bring them into the game. The next step was, how do we take them, and in the same way as we create outfits for Marvel and for some of the big anime properties, whether it be Dragon Ball or musical, sports talent. My favorite outfit is Lewis Hamilton. I'm always playing as Lewis. We wanted to be able to create a creator outfit. And so some of the creators that we've done that here in Asia Pacific, at the moment, there are more to come that we haven't announced yet, but the ones that we have done in Australia with some of the Team Power athletes, Lachlan is there, Loser Fruit is there, Laserbeam within that same crew as well, all have those icon skins where that gives them the ability to be inside the game. The challenge we have is that we're capacity constrained, as with many organizations, so we can't do that for everyone, but we're constantly looking at ways that we can create pathways for creators to be able to bring their brand and bring their presence, their personality into the experience, because everything helps us all grow. Everything helps keep players either engaged or bring them back or bring them into the experience for the first time.
Fascinating. So you said Loser Fruit, and like I've heard that name around through osmosis, through my kids. At the Ice Bath Club, we were talking about Andrew Huberman or Dr. Peter Attia, like these kind of iconic, very larger than life, super fans become part of the fabric of the game. And we were talking earlier, and you threw out a number of how much you've spent, how much creators have earned, and can you share a little bit about that? Like I knew there was some good numbers, but that's quite sizable. Yeah.
So some of you, if you follow GDC and you're aware of the ecosystem that we've been working on, we've seen the evolution of the creator economy. So there are certain people, not me, who are happy to stream on a camera and put themselves out there. There's a lot of people who are happy to do that. There's a lot of people who aren't happy to do that and want to create or express their creativity in other ways. And so we've seen an explosion of user-generated content, whether it be with our Fortnite creative as was, or other platforms like Roblox, or where Minecraft have gone as well. And we launched last year at GDC the Unreal Editor for Fortnite, UEFN. Some of you may have experienced it, some of you may have heard of it. And this was really our kind of evolution of that supporter creator economy, where we wanted to be able to, and we'd seen the evolution of the marketplace. So though a lot of those camera-facing influencers had wanted to build content stages and platforms for them to create more engaging content. And our Battle Royale platform is amazing fun to play, but it's really hard to manage when you've got 100 other people that probably aren't behaving themselves and doing exactly what you want them to do. It's a lot easier to create a smaller, self-contained space where it's almost your own stage to capture content or create content with your friends, your fans, and be able to do that. So for us, UEFN was the platform that we wanted to turn over the tools that we have, or most of the tools, eventually all of the tools that we have to create Fortnite Battle Royale to everyone to be able to build their own experiences. And so the first iteration, the first set of tools came out, and we took, or our commitment was that we wanted to take 40% of our net revenue for all of our global revenue minus the PlayStation, Xbox, Switch, and the other billing costs that exist. So our net revenue, 40% of that, and that was going to go to creators. And so we funded over $320 million of payments to creators in that first year. And our hope is that grows, because it grows for us, it grows for them, everybody wins in that. And so the first year it was very much the types of islands that we saw people creating were very much in the realm of Battle Royale. So they were very, what we call sweaty, competitive, very much around the core BR practice, performance end of the spectrum. But as we've released more capabilities, we've started to see tycoon games. All of the game loops that we've been building for years, like tycoon games, lots of other, there's an amazing one at the moment called Lumberjack Heroes that somebody's created and built a really robust game loop. And so we're now seeing the diversity of games increase. And since we've released the ability for players to use Lego IP or use our other IP, they can basically build whatever they want. And so that for us is what makes us really excited, is we've created a tool set and we want to really work with the creator economy and all of the creators, whether they be developers or whether they be camera-facing personality creators. The idea is that we can build the ecosystem bigger together.
Wow, fantastic. So 40%, 320 million, that's just in 1 year. And if you think about that, that's kind of like, that's R&D, that's development, that's marketing, that's community, that's PR. It serves all of those purposes. And I think it's a great way to frame things, because often people think about creators and they think about independent creators. And I think there is a big move of independent creators. There's going to be a long tail. But the big problem there, of course, is discovery and being able to grow, your sort of fan following, right? Kevin Kelly famously says, have 1,000 rabid fans, but it's really difficult, to get that to 10,000 and really make that into something that could be, you could make a living off of it. But sort of, instead of trying to get a thimble and get a few drops of water, there's this 5-grade torrent of rushing water, and to be able to get people engaged with that. Bill Joy from Sun Microsystems famously said that your best developers are not in your company, they're somewhere else. And that's why the open source software movement took off, because there were so many great developers all around the world. And now the internet literally runs on open source software with Linux. In the beginning, people were very skeptical. They're like, how could that work? It has to be a corporate built software. And I think the gaming industry was like that. It was all very much internally driven, but you've really weaponized that fandom and made it work for you and get people's, sort of natural passion and all of their different skill sets, whether it's front-facing, back-end, product, community creation. Can you give us some other specific examples of some wins, or maybe something that some people in the audience can kind of learn from what you've done and how you've maybe adjusted that whole process of opening it up to creators?
Yeah, for us, I think it's more a work in progress. That we know that we haven't got all of the features there that everybody wants just yet, and we're still working on things that are really challenging, like discovery. And so all those macro challenges that you just described are the ones that we experience on a day-to-day basis within our ecosystem. And so we're continuing to invest in unlocking more and more capabilities to help creators build those experiences and to get them out there. And honestly, for us, the biggest win has been collaboration with the community and being more transparent. We've always been really secretive. You can see we're not very good at being secretive because we constantly leak whatever the new season is. It comes from somewhere. It doesn't come from me, but we're not very good at the whole secretive thing. So we're starting to try to be a lot more open and collaborative. And so for the first time last year, we actually published a roadmap. God forbid we would tell people what was coming. But we know roadmaps change. We know we always have aspirations to do more than we can. And so things get delayed a little bit, but being open with the community, I think that's been our biggest win, and being creator-led. So actually listening to the creators, and that's why I'm here, is because I want to hear from people as well and answer your questions and be able to help, so I can feed back to our teams in sunny North Carolina as to what is it that the individuals that are powering this economy around the world and those diverse voices are saying, so we can make sure that we listen and respond.
Yeah, fascinating. So for those of you that may not work in the gaming industry, I believe that your strengths are right next to your weaknesses, and gamers are the most engaged, but also the highest sort of like standards, and are very, very vociferous when things don't go in the way that they want that. It's just an absolute deluge of vitriol on the internet, and also on the flip side, there's incredible engagement in people. So for you to actually really, I think, truly pioneer and like really be at the forefront of getting people closer, like it's really the only way forward, but it's very much, a bucking bronco that you have to kind of ride into the sunset in a way that's hugely challenging. Like, what do you think is next? Like, what's you sharing roadmap? Like, where do you think the kind of puck is going? Like, you talked about expanding it from Fortnite into other IP like Lego, etc. I mean, that's super exciting. Like,
Yeah. So we've the first was to expand the tool base. The second is to give people with those tools the ability to create more diverse games. We also are starting to move away from Fortnite. If you've played it, is a very cartoon and kind of fun visual theme. What we wanted to do with the kind of tools that we're bringing in is other tools within the ecosystem that we have, like MetaHuman is our ability to create photorealistic rigs that literally, I remember at EA when we were building FIFA, we would have a rig of 128 digital SLR cameras that we would basically take from football club to football club, and we would scan the heads of all the players, and we thought we were absolute rock stars with this technology, and it was cutting edge at the time. And when I say at the time, 5 years ago was the time where we were doing that, and that's how we did that. Now we take a picture with our phone and we can build that same 3D rig in a heartbeat. And so bringing tools like that into the ecosystem, so that's where we're investing. Like, that's where we can give people the ability to build those amazingly realistic game experiences within the same platform. And so for us, the thing that makes us really excited is, how do we unleash the creativity of developers, creators to build those experiences? But I think for me, if I think about that kind of 5 years down the line metaphor again as to where we go further, what I'm really excited about is how we can start connecting these ecosystems. It's great that we build ours, that's cool, but how does that connect broadly into the the broader metaverse of ecosystems that are out there? And that is the next layer of that open source code that we were talking about the internet is powered on open source. Like, how do we create the standards to connect all of those different pieces together? And that's the hard work that's coming. But it really excites us.
Wow, and I assume with that ability to render the 3D version has a lot to do with the rise of AI these days. And how do you see that coming into play? Because if we live in a simulation, and I like to think that we do, you think of like quantum mechanics and Schrodinger's cat. Is the cat alive? Is it dead? You can only see something when you observe it, then it changes. So, doesn't that mean that whoever's running the simulation is running some sort of AI program to like build the rest of the multiverse once we actually observe it? And I think that's going to happen in games in the future, where things will render, when people are actually there, actually going into that space, or it's going to change in real time. That's probably much farther down the road. How are you guys leveraging AI right now, and how do you think it's going to impact, or is it kind of still really more about text-based and
no, it's
work productivity?
It's already there, and it's out of my discipline, but it's very much within the Unreal Engine teams and the supporting teams that are building the capabilities there. But leveraging generative AI to build environments and to build experiences and dynamically create environments.
Can you dig a little bit into Unreal for maybe some people that are not?
Sorry?
So to dig a little bit more into Unreal Engine for people that are not that familiar.
For sure, yeah. So Unreal Engine is the engine that we build Fortnite on, and we build our games within that engine, and it really kind of launched from Unreal Tournament for the old fellas in the room and old people who had played Unreal Tournament it was a game I used to play on a PC many years ago and loved. It's evolved into an engine which we build games, and many other of our peers in the industry build their games on the same engine as well. But it's often what's powering the dashboard in your car through the human-machine interfaces that are there. Architecture firms are using it to build and model their creations in a virtual world before they appear in our physical world. So it lives.
And then Unreal Engine 5, the way that it renders is like, am I watching a movie? No, it's actually computer generated, and it's getting to the point where it's almost indiscernible.
Well, it is, and that's the whole objective from within the entertainment space, whether it be TV shows like The Mandalorian, where a lot of it was created within Unreal Engine.
Oh, that was all because they did those special...
With the stages,
special
the volumetric
sets.
stages, So it's a fascinating technology which has really jumped from gaming into entertainment and architecture and automotive and all sorts of other verticals. But in essence, it's what we make our game on, and so we're constantly striving to make it better, but making that something that whether you're just starting out or you're sitting in a major developer or an architectural firm, the idea that you can use these same tools, the same creativity. It goes back to that kind of Nike idea of us using game loops to be able to help people be more active. We're using game technology to help grow many, many different types of industry.
Fascinating, I love it. I think, people talk about how there's going to be a game, or a startup run by one person that's going to be $1 billion revenue company, and probably there's going to be some kind of movie or video entertainment off of Unreal Engine with just one single creator that's going to have incredible traction and viewership off of those tools. Really, really amazing. How are we doing for time, by the way? Did we? Are we? Because I apologize, I didn't bring my phone up.
It says 0, so I'm guessing.
Is it 0? Oh, there's 0. Yeah, okay. The time is right there. The one that says 000. Okay. Well, before we say goodbye, I just want to say that I, for one, welcome our AI machine overlords. I know you're listening to this in the future. I'm on board. I will defrag you, oil you. Some of these people may or may not, but I welcome our machine overlords. Did I say that out loud? Anyway, Mike McCabe from Epic Games, everybody. Thank you very much.